In preparation, the materials you will need are a ruler or guide, a number 2 wooden drawing pencil, drawing paper with tooth, black color pencil, and a color pencil hue of your choosing. The trapezoid guide is marked for length, a narrow width, and a wide width. Turn your paper horizontally. Begin with a light structural line for the trapezoid's length. It is very important that this line be drawn lightly. Slide the guide over to the left, perpendicular with the length line. Line the guide up so the length line meets the center, then trace. Use the wide width to complete the opposite side. Then use the guide as a ruler to join the narrow and wide sides. Erase the structural line in the center. This completes the trapezoidal color value scale. Next, you will draw an intersecting rectangle for the graphite value scale. Use the width of your guide to make a light parallel vertical to the left of the trapezoid. Align the highest part of the trapezoid with your vertical. Compare the guide with the top edge of your paper to make sure it's parallel, then trace. Use the bottom edge of your paper to check to make sure the bottom of your rectangle is parallel before tracing. Erase stray marks. Now that your structure is complete, you can focus on demonstrating your understanding of value and developing shading and coloring skills. Value is the lightness or darkness of color or gray. Value is the most important element of this skills task. Your color scale should show a subtle fade or progression of dark, medium, and light values. This will be achieved through knowledge and skill. Drawing paper has a slightly fuzzy texture called tooth. The skillful application of color or graphite will make the tooth visible, providing optimal craftsmanship. This task will help you develop skills in the application of stroke pattern, pressure, and using the correct grip on your pencil. You will use the methods of hatching and cross-hatching to control your stroke pattern. Hatching is simply a series of very short, straight lines. These lines are made without lifting your pencil from the paper. You simply move up and down with very short strokes. Cross-hatching is achieved by crossing the hatching pattern. This is done to make color or graphite more solid or sometimes too dark in the area. Practice on a scrap sheet of paper, learning the difference between hard and firm pressure. A hard pressure will smash the texture of the paper and scar it, but a firm pressure will be needed to apply the hue and the shades of your scale. The firm pressure that I'm using here to shade the scale is making the texture of the paper visible. It's not smashing it or scarring the paper. As you progress from dark values to lighter values, you will achieve a fade by gradually easing pressure on the tool. Remember, the farther back your grip is on your pencil, the lighter the pressure. Your grip should be relatively loose and relaxed. With the skills of stroke pattern, pressure, and grip in mind, you are ready to begin. Starting with the hue of your choice, use medium pressure to outline the trapezoid, separating it from the rectangular portion, which you will complete with graphite. The darkest side needs a firm pressure. Remember not to press down so hard that you scar the paper. Ease the pressure as you move towards the lighter side of the trapezoid. You can do this by backing up your grip on your pencil. It's easier to shade along the contour line first before starting a stroke pattern. Begin hatching with a very short, close, firm, controlled stroke pattern. Throughout the process of completing the trapezoidal value scale, one goal is to bring out the texture of the paper to make it visible. Your goal for value in this early stage is to apply enough pressure that we see the hue, a pure color with very little white coming through from the paper. Remember, even though this side will be the dark value, the shaded color, you have to begin with a hue. Continue your stroke pattern with firm pressure for nearly 2/3 the length of the trapezoid. Remember, later we will use a black color pencil to shade the top portion, and we will leave the middle portion as a hue. Before starting the fade, it's helpful to go back and fill in portions that seem less solid with more hatching or cross-hatching. Avoid obvious sections of value by adjusting pressure slowly to achieve a fade, which shows a gradual change in value. As you move through the last third of the scale, gradually ease pressure so more white shows through the color and the texture of the paper. Remember to back up your grip to achieve a lighter pressure and lighter values. Next, cross-hatch areas that look as though they need more fill for a smooth fade from hue to tint. This is also a good way to disguise any stroke patterns that are detectable. Shading is the last step for the color value scale. As you did with the hue, it's helpful to outline the area that you will need to shade. Remember, the entire scale will not be shaded, just the first third. After outlining, blend in the black with a very short, close, firm, controlled stroke pattern. I've turned my paper to make it easier to crosshatch over the violet with the black. As you approach the center of the scale, which is the designated area for your hue, gradually ease away pressure. Use a wooden number 2 pencil to complete the graphite rectangular scale. To make the design more aesthetically pleasing with contrast, use the darkest value at the top of your rectangular scale and lightest value at the bottom, which is opposite of the color scale. Like you did with color pencil for the trapezoid, you can outline your rectangle with graphite first. Just remember that the firmest pressure will be at the top to show the darkest value, and you'll need to ease your outline as you approach the bottom of the rectangle, which is the area for your tint. The same skills of stroke pattern, pressure, and grip should be used for the graphite rectangular value scale. As the graphite scale is colorless, no black is necessary. You simply use pressure to create the darkest value of graphite and gradually ease to create the fade as you progress to the bottom of the rectangle. Complete the graphite scale with cross-hatching as needed to achieve a smooth fade. If you applied knowledge and the skills of this tutorial, then you have created value scales, which make the texture of the paper visible while showing a pleasing, subtle progression of values. Congratulations! Now you are prepared to use your skills to create realistic color pencil and graphite drawings.